Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Cap Chat. I'm your host, John Lucas. With the fall semester coming to a close, there are many important things that freshmen need to know about their upcoming second semester, such as meeting with advisors to schedule classes, knowing how the housing process works and which dorms are better, and finally, how to avoid the horrible freshman 15 over the winter months. But before we discuss the freshman survival guide, we're going to take a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Definitely know what it's like to feel alone.
I had no hope, and I didn't think that things would get better.
I struggled a lot with thoughts of suicide myself.
Speak up to anyone that you feel comfortable speaking to about those kind of issues.
If you can get through those rough times, the good times are really good times.
It might be bad now.
There are a whole lot bigger and better things that are waiting for you down the road.
It gets better.
It does get better.
I promise it does get better.
What up, I'm Will, play the bass. We're a jazz group, but we play everything from Miles Davis to Tom Morello.
Hi, I'm Matheson. I play drums for the group. Not only do we play covers, but we also play original music. Hey, I'm Danny. I play piano. We've played at benefits, restaurants, and jazz clubs, and we're open to play anywhere.
Hey, I'm Zach, and I play guitar. Check us out on Facebook for our schedule, booking contact, and music.
We'd like to start off this first segment by talking about the process of scheduling classes. And this process can be somewhat scary for freshmen, especially since they are the last students to register. Other questions also arise, like what if I'm changing my major, or how do I meet with my advisor? We have two very special guests with us tonight, Taylor Brandisell and Alex Abel. Taylor and Alex, why don't we start off with having you, just tell us a little bit about yourselves, your major, any extracurricular activities you're involved in here at Capitol.
I'm Taylor Brandisell. I'm a history major with a management minor, and I play baseball here.
All right.
I'm Alex Abel. I'm double majoring in marketing and leadership and management. I played baseball for 2 years and currently am the social chairman of Phi Kappa Psi.
Fantastic. Now, first question, when you received that initial email from the registrar regarding what time to schedule classes, what's the first thing you do once you receive that? I mean, for the freshmen, they've never seen this email before and they might not know what to do. So what would you recommend?
I would recommend contacting your advisor, whether it's via email or trying to see them in person. I think seeing them in person, like stopping in their office and signing up for a time, is the most effective. And some professors have their own way, with such as emails or the online wikis, but they're there to help you, so all you have to do is ask.
Yeah, my advisor puts out a sign-up sheet, so I just go there and sign up for a time and meet with him. Other than that, you can start looking at classes that you know you need and begin to set up your schedule. And then after you get approved, you'll register on the date they give you.
Okay. Now, Taylor, you mentioned there's various ways the professors will want you to get a hold of them. What do you think is the best way to get a hold of your professor, especially if you don't know when their office hours are?
I would say email. Most teachers now have a smartphone and they check their computers regularly. And if they email you back, they're going to tell you that when their office hours are or when that they can meet with you to help you set up what classes you're going to take for the next semester.
Okay.
I agree. I think email is the most effective. Not only do they check it often, but it does keep a professional level, which is what you want to keep regarding a relationship with your professors.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I agree. It's keeps it professional, and text message just seems a little too personal to address the professor.
Right.
So
I haven't gotten that close to any of my professors yet.
Yeah, certainly. And so, what do you think you should do before you meet with your advisor? Are there certain documents that you should show up with, or are there certain things you need to take a look at?
As a freshman, I really wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. I kind of showed up, and then as the years went on, you kind of set up your own schedule, thinking what you might want to take, what fits in with your schedule. I know for baseball, I want to take less classes in the spring and more in the fall, so I have a lighter load with the amount of time that we travel and are on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice to have at least something in mind, knowing what's coming up in your curriculum. Even if you don't have a major, you can know what university core classes are taken. And if you go on WebAdvisor, you can start to search and set up your schedule or tentative schedule and see the classes you want to take before you meet with your advisor and get approved to actually register.
Mm-hmm. How soon before you register do you recommend getting all that straightened out on WebAdvisor? Because I know WebAdvisor in and of itself can be confusing.
I do it as soon as I get my email to register. Like I got my email last week, I will register on the 6th. So I actually have that set up, and I've met with my advisor, so we could both be on the same page, especially because I'm about to graduate, and I need to know that I have all my classes to actually finish up here in May.
Mm-hmm. So how do you know which professor to take? I mean, you mentioned that you have some sort of degree audit where you can see what courses you have to take, but how do you know which professor is better or easier?
First, I would recommend going with what fits with your time that you have, whether you're in baseball or out of season. And then I would look at what professors are teaching the class and if any of your friends might have any information on them, whether it's a heavy workload, light workload, or just if they're just an overall nice person and are a great teacher.
Yeah, I agree. Timing is most important. At least to me, I like to be able to kind of get an idea for my days, what they're going to be like if I take a class here or if I take a class there. But then if you get lucky, there are some professors that are well known and well liked, as opposed to some others who aren't as highly regarded, at least in the student's mind, probably because they think it's too much work, which is why we're here. But
Right.
we're still all lazy, you know. So
Sure. And so, speaking of being lazy, I mean, how many credit hours do you take in a semester on average?
Average would be about 15 to 16 throughout your first 3 years. Senior year, you may have to squeeze in an extra one in the fall just to have a lighter workload in the spring, or try and even it out. It might be a little lighter, might be a little more, depending on what requirements you have to do to fulfill your major.
Okay.
I think 15 or 16 is a good number, but there are going to become semesters where you may have to take 18 and you may just have to suck it up. But you get rewarded with those by maybe a 14-hour semester with a lighter workload.
Okay. And so about 16 credit hours, that seems to be a pretty solid schedule. Do you recommend that freshmen take maybe a lighter course load their first year, or would that be doing themselves a disservice?
I think it would be doing themselves a disservice, just because if you have a 12-hour semester for your first semester, you're going to think college is a lot lighter than you expected. But then to be considered a full-time student too, most people have to have 30 credit hours. And so then you'd have a crazy one the next one. And so I think 15 or 16 is a good number to pace yourself, and it should get you the amount of credit you need by the time you have to graduate.
Alex?
I think you have to find a happy medium, because you don't want to come in and take 18 credit hours and get overloaded and kind of discouraged. But you also don't want to take 12, because as you know, when you come into college, it's not a 7 to 3 every day like it was in high school. So you do get some leniency, and you do get to actually pick when your classes are. But if you do start taking 12, you may have a lot of free time. That may be great, but you may be spending the 5th or 6th year here too. And I mean, so it's up to the person. But I would recommend. I think 15 to 16 is pretty balanced and pretty manageable for anybody. I mean,
Sure. Okay. Now, what about if you play sports? I know, Taylor, you play baseball. How do you cope with having extracurriculars and also trying to maintain good academics?
And with baseball being in the spring, you want your fall semester to be maybe a little bit heavier, because during the spring you have a lot of time in practice, on the road, at games, to where you may not be able to fit in at 17, 18 credit hours. So you want to have a little bit more in the fall, and then during the springtime we try and do a little bit less so we have more time to focus on baseball, but school being the most important is going to be your main focus, just a little lighter.
I know, especially with baseball, because I played for 2 years, and we did have our games are sporadic throughout the week, and there are rainouts and stuff. So that's the toughest with time management. In the fall, you have fall ball and you have workouts, but the time commitment is less in the fall and more manageable. I always think things will get done, somehow, some way, and they usually do. But you have to have that mindset.
Sure.
But I mean, that's not always the best with time management either, though.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming in and talking about scheduling classes. When we come back, we're going to speak with Christian Ross about the housing lottery. Stay tuned.
The Capital University Rock Ensemble is in its 7th season. It was founded by Dr. Mark Lockstamper as kind of an alternative for the students who maybe didn't fit into our jazz combos, into big band, or into the choirs. So we're a fully functioning rock band. We can travel anywhere. We're singing everything from Jason Mraz to Grace Potter and the Nocturnals to Styx. So there's a little something for everyone. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Are you ready? Take your game to the next level with Capital University's Ultimate Disc Team. Have fun with great people while learning to compete at this ultimate sport. Come join us for late night pickup every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 10 p.m. on Renner Lawn. All skill levels are welcome. Catch it with CU Disc.
Welcome back to the Freshman Survival Guide edition of CapChat. With us now are Alex Abel and Christian Ross. And we're about to discuss some extracurricular activities for students around campus and the housing lottery. First, Christian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm a junior here at Capital. I'm a financial economics and marketing double major. I play baseball. I'm involved in a couple intramural sports, and I'm the treasurer of the Finance Association of Capital.
Okay, fantastic. And Alex, what sort of curriculars are you interested in, or extracurriculars are you interested in?
I also play intramural sports. I play intramural basketball and intramural football. I'm going to be starting up on an intramural kickball team here shortly. And like mentioned earlier, I am the social chair of Phi Kappa Psi.
Sure, okay. Now, we know that there's a lot of students on campus that are athletic and they play sports, and there's others that are involved in the conservatory. What sort of extracurriculars are available for students that maybe just aren't as athletic?
I know there's a lot of clubs out there. Like I said, there's the Finance Association for people interested in finance and business. There's a few other ones in business, like there's an accounting association, and then I'm sure other various majors have different clubs that would associate with the majors. There's some religious groups that meet up and get together. So really, for any kind of interest, there's probably some type of club or organization where you can go with other people that are also interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Capital offers a lot. Me being more into athletics, I'm big into the intramurals, but there are academic clubs, and there's also Greek life, which is getting bigger around campus.
Now, could you tell us a little bit about Greek life? I know you mentioned you're in Phi Kappa Psi.
Yeah, I'm in Phi Psi. I joined last year as a junior, which is kind of late, but it still offered great opportunities. It looks great as on a resume, especially if you hold a leadership spot like I do, and it also helps with networking. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, you make a lot of new friends. I mean, we're over 50 guys now. So just to have 50 friends, you know, to get together with, and you do different types of community service, and there are social aspects around campus. Just like we sponsor, or we put on Mud Tug, which is the biggest campus-wide event at Capital, and we do that in the spring. Last year we had 44 teams and over 400 people show up to watch it.
Okay, fantastic. And so, what exactly has Phi Psi given to you as far as, you know, how has it made you better, or what have you gained from it?
Better, well, I have a leadership position, so knowing that guys rely on me to put things together. I put together different mixers or brotherhood events just for us, and different things that branch on campus, such as the Mud Tug, and we had a volleyball tournament earlier in the fall. So different things like that give me some more responsibility, and I know that people are counting on me. But it also gives you, I mean, it also allows you to meet other guys, whether it's guys on campus or Phi Psi's just around the nation. They offer different leadership conferences where you can travel around the U.S. and even sometimes out of the country. So all Greek life offers you different, you know, opportunities. But I'm happy with mine, and I think we do, you know, any type of person, whether an athlete, an academic, in the conservatory. We have all types of people, and we end up meshing with real well with people that you would never have met otherwise.
Sure. Okay. Now, Christian, what do you think is the biggest benefit of being involved on campus?
I'd say probably networking, making friends with people, being involved in different clubs and organizations. You get to meet new people that you never would have met otherwise. You don't know if you're you know, playing an intramural sport, someone on your team or someone you're playing against might be your new best friend, it might be your roommate. It could end up being the best man at your wedding. So just getting involved and meeting people is really probably the biggest benefit.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and it helps build yourself too. Maybe if you're kind of a quiet person, if you go out and get involved, you know, people change in college. They really do. People make huge differences huge changes in 4 years. So getting out there and getting involved, you know, it gets you out of your dorm room so you don't feel like a slug all day. And you're only here for 4 years. So what's the sense in just, you know, being another number when you can go out and be known on campus, and you're not going to have the opportunities outside of college that you do right now in these 4 years.
Sure. Okay. Now, as far as the freshmen are concerned, because we are trying to create a survival guide, I suppose, for the freshmen that are now starting their second semester here. You know, what would you say to them if they have a roommate and they're just not getting along? How would you tell them to cope with that and to maybe make the situation better?
I guess the easiest way to make it better would be to get involved. That way you're not just stuck in the dorm room, you know, dealing with the person that you don't really like. You can get out and meet new people and do other things. And then that way you can also open new opportunities as far as finding someone that you'd be more interested in rooming with in the future at Capital.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. Getting involved helps a lot. You know, if you have to stay out of your room. Get involved with things. You know, find friends that you can go hang out at their place. You know, but getting involved helps a lot because you will meet your future roommates by being part of something, whether it's your meeting people in your hallway or being on a sports team or a club or something. You will meet your roommate that way. But I know if things get real bad, you can kind of talk to residence life, and if things are that bad, you can get help and get things handled and changed through them.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, bringing up residence life. They can also help you with the housing lottery, because I know that's a very contentious time of the year. You know, it's very confusing, and so a lot of students don't understand it, but they can talk to Res Life if they have any questions. So just to wrap up, if you could have one piece of advice that you would give to the freshmen, what do you think that would be?
I'd tell them to get involved, join clubs, intramural sports, try to get good grades and have fun while you're doing everything.
All right.
Yeah. Focus on your studies because that's the reason you're here, but also put yourself on campus because being at the small school we are, you have this opportunity to be known and know a lot of people as opposed to going to a bigger school and just kind of being a number out there. So really just put yourself out there and be known.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. After this break, we will be meeting with Taylor Patterson, who fell victim to the always terrible freshman 15 in the early years in college. Stay tuned.
Three main areas comprise career development, and those are career planning, job and internship search, and graduate and professional school application. Some of the most popular services are reviewing resumes, choosing and changing majors, and finding internships and jobs. You can find us on the second floor of Blackmore Library. Our drop-in hours are posted there, and you can make an appointment too. Most of our resources, including our contact information, are available on our website. We help you figure out what you want to do, and then we'll help you do it.
Academic success is devoted to helping students be as academically successful here at Capital as they can be. We provide a wide range of academic support services, including math tutoring, science tutoring, writing center, and then subject area tutoring. We're easy to find. We're right here on the second floor of the library, and they can get more information by either calling us at 236-6327, emailing us at academicsuccess@capital.edu, or just simply going to our website, www.capital.edu/academic success.
Are you tired of lugging your turntable around just so you can listen to your favorite music? You're in luck. Capital University's chapter of the Audio Engineering Society is converting your old vinyl, tapes, and more into digital formats that you can take with you wherever you go. We use professional level equipment to preserve the sound quality of your collection while turning it into a much more manageable size. So let the AES digitize your library. We'll promise it'll still sound just as good. Contact nlockwu@capital.edu for more information.
Welcome back to CapChat. As you know, the freshman 15 does exist. It happened to a very special guest, which we will have with us shortly, Taylor Patterson. Here's his story.
Taylor Patterson had it all as a high school senior. He was well-liked, athletic, and most of all, healthy. However, things changed when he came to college here at Capital University, as he, much like many other college freshmen, found himself gaining weight at a rapid pace. Taylor was kind enough to join us to discuss an emotional topic in an effort to help spread awareness of the dreaded freshman 15. Taylor's story is next on CapChat.
Taylor, thank you for coming in today. I'm going to ask you a few questions about the freshman 15.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Now I know your freshman year you came in, well, how much did you weigh?
I was $150, little skinny string bean.
So 150 pounds.
150 pounds.
Skin and bones.
That's all it was.
Now, I understand you were really skinny. What happened, man? How'd you gain all that weight? Right?
Yeah.
Did I get a nerve?
No, a little bit.
It happens, man. It's okay.
Well, you see, I came to college, I was away from my family, and, well, I wasn't having the 3 solid meals a day. Instead, I had 3 solid buffets a day, and, they got an ice cream bar, and, well, I lost control. I lost control.
Taylor, what contributed to your factors of gaining weight? Was it alcohol, fast food, late night food?
Well, you know, Andrew, I've often asked myself the same exact question, and you know what? I did do a little bit of boozing, and alcohol does make you gain a little bit of weight. And then, you know, when I'd be out on the weekend doing some boozing, you know, the only thing to eat was, you know, fast food, and well, I became pretty good friends with that drive-through worker.
How many Little Caesars $5 pieces did you eat a weekend?
Well, in a weekend, anywhere from, you know, 3 a night, some nights stressed out, to, you know, 10 a week.
10 pizzas a week.
Yeah.
How many beers?
I mean, 30.
So, when you gained all this weight, how many times did you exercise a day, honestly?
Well, you know, I lived on the 3rd floor, which I'd walk up and down the stairs every day. And so, you know, I guess I thought that was all I needed. Oh, well, I didn't make it into the weight room, and never once did I think about going to the Capitol Center.
Do you know where that is?
I do now, thanks to the PNC maps provided by PNC.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, I didn't have a good base of friends, and so I didn't really have anybody to tell me, hey, you're getting a little fat.
So Taylor, I know this might be tough for you, but can we see your belly?
Well, I really don't feel comfortable with this. Do you think I could maybe, you know?
No, you can do it.
Well, okay, well, there it is.
It's really tragic to hear your story of the freshman 15. We want to spread awareness at CapTV. So what we're going to do for you is we're going to give you a gym membership at the Cap Center. You can go anytime you want, all 7 days a week, and you're going to be able to lose weight, become a better person.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We want you to come into our show in 6 months and see your progress.
Thank you.
Anytime. See you in 6 months.
And welcome to Taylor Patterson. You know, how are you doing? You look great.
Oh, I'm doing good, thank you. That story gets me every time, you know. It's just a little bit about myself. I was, you know, starting to gain a little weight and lost my roommate. Parents stopped coming and visiting. Grandma stopped baking cookies for me, and you know, I was on that last lap of that checkered flag, about to wave me on in and take me to fat camp that summer. And you know, well, good folks at CapTV hooked me up with some passes to the gym, and it was all uphill from there.
Well, we're happy to help. You know, how did you get rid of the freshman 15 and eventually build the muscle that you have today?
Well, you see, I got on a very strict weight training program, and you know, my diet was very strict as well. One of the things I did to motivate myself was, you know, I took a picture of the previous me at that point where I had gained the most weight, and well, what I did, John, was I put it right there on the ceiling, so every night I laid my head down, I would look at that, and it, you know, make me motivated to get up the next day and work.
So during that time, how often did you work out when you were a little heftier?
Well, when I was on the hefty side, I really didn't work out at all. I even had a scooter I would ride to class.
So did you even know where the Cap Center was at that point? I think you mentioned in the package that you didn't.
You know, I did not. Like I said, I lost my roommate, so I couldn't really ask him, and everybody else in the hall shunned me, so you know, there's nobody I could really go to ask.
So when you finally got a hold of yourself and you started to work out, was it difficult to stay on track?
You know, at first it was a lifestyle change, but I think it was easier than one would think. You know, the good folks at Blender Bottle started sponsoring me so that I'd stop drinking out of the big gulp Slurpees from the Speedway. And then, like I said, you folks at the Capitol television station helped me out with the free gym membership. So it was, you know, I had a big support group coming in and helping me.
So how much credit do you attribute to your diet in losing all this weight? Did that help, or was it just the exercise?
Well, John, like I'd say, I'd like to a tribute to the blender bottle once again for, you know, helping me out. But, you know, the diet was everything. You know, I read in bodybuilding just the other day that the abdominal muscles start in the kitchen. And so the main dining room is our kitchen, and that's where it started for me.
So were there certain foods that you avoided at the main dining room, certain people that you avoided?
Well, yes, certainly, you know, people from my past that kind of directed me on the wrong path. Folks sitting there by the ice cream bar, you know, we always used to hang out there in a dark place. So now I started hanging out at the salad bar, a little bit better of a bar.
Yeah. And so what would you recommend to the freshmen who are trying to avoid, you know, going through what you went through?
You know, don't go in that dark corner of the dessert area and the ice cream bar. You know, you gotta stay out there in the open where everybody can see where the salad bar is, and they'll keep you on the right track.
All right. And so, since losing that weight, have you regained those relationships with your family and friends?
Yes, my parents do now come and visit me, and well, my grandma does not bake me the cookies, but she'll send me a protein bar here or there.
No, that's probably better.
Very better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for my
What was
English
it?
there, my
Yeah,
grammar
no,
there.
It's all right. With the weight, you also lost your grammar. That's understandable.
bit.
So how big of an influence were your friends? You know, were they supportive of this endeavor to kind of lose the weight?
They were very much supportive. You know, they would sometimes jokingly call me, you know, chubby or chunky. But that was just to motivate me. You know, that was kind of a kick in the rear to keep me going. But we have regained our friendships, and it's better off for us all.
So what's next? Now that you're in great shape, you know, you look good, what's the next step?
Well, next, me and the good folks at Blender Bottle are looking to go around the country and, you know, really make people aware of the freshman 15 and the tragedies that it can cause.
Now, I know this might be a little bit unorthodox, but the folks at home might be interested. You mind if I feel your muscles?
Well, you can give it a feel.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's good. That's
thank you very much.
That's nice. That's firm. What did you do to get that?
Curls. You know, they often say education is important, but good biceps are more important.
I agree. They're certainly more important.
Absolutely.
You know, and I imagine the folks at Blender Bottle, you know, picking up the bottle certainly works on the triceps. I feel that, the burn.
You do, you do. You know, especially when it's full, you get a little bit more weight in it.
Wow. So, are you a senior this year, or what was the class standing you mentioned?
I am a junior now. Junior now. So, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, the weight loss. That was freshman year, and then sophomore year I was at my chunkiest, but over the summer I really hit the weights, you know.
Oh, that's great. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we certainly hope you get a lot of good use out of that gym membership that
Thank
we've
you.
offered
Thank you very
We
much.
appreciate you coming on, sharing your story. So you've heard today from Taylor and others. We provide the freshmen with information on how to schedule classes, get involved on campus, apply for housing, and avoid the freshman 15. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next week for our show on intramural sports. Take care.